Hello, I'm Christina Raab, Vice President of Strategy for the Cradle to Cradle Products Innovation Institute. For our seventh 5 in 10 conversation, we have invited Jo Gidley, founder and CEO of Beauty Kitchen, to talk with us about her quest to make sustainable beauty the norm. Beauty Kitchen is one of the highest scoring B Corps in the UK. From formulations and packaging to refill stations, all Beauty Kitchen products are designed according to cradle-to-cradle principles. The brand has recently introduced its first range of cradle-to-cradle certified products. Jo, thank you for joining us today.
No, thank you, Christina, and thank you for that lovely introduction.
Jo, first, tell us about your entrepreneurship journey. What is your vision for Beauty Kitchen, and how did you go about setting up the business with sustainability as a driving purpose?
Yeah, so when we first thought about the business, we wanted a sustainability company, but we wanted it to be in the beauty category. And the reason for that is the beauty industry is not known for sustainability. However, it really should be. It has all of the touch points for consumers. It is a global industry, and it's generally a female-led industry as well, which is quite unusual. So from a diversity and inclusion perspective, for me, sustainability just seemed like the right model for beauty. And when you see a gap in the market, and you know that that space is relatively quiet, which it was when we first started Beauty Kitchen, that's really where the opportunity lies for entrepreneurs.
Mm-hmm. And how does a Beauty Kitchen define a sustainable beauty product? What are some of the key measures and markers that you have in place?
Yeah, so I think we have always designed our products in a safe and circular way. And this was before B Corp and before Cradle to Cradle. The third party verification marks are really important because for us, it's that independent framework to confirm that what we are doing as a business in creating our products, we're doing it the right way. The other part of the way that we approach sustainability is to look at all aspects of your business and product design. So rather than just focusing in on, say, sustainable formulations, we look at formulations, packaging, but our full supply chain. And what that has done in the early days, it was a big challenge because most people weren't interested in sustainability, particularly sustainable beauty. However, we have come into the fore very recently, and that's one of the other reasons for Beauty Kitchen is our drive to change both the industry, but also consumers.
Mm-hmm. And retailers play a frontline role in connecting consumers with sustainable products. Can you share some examples how Beauty Kitchen is partnering with retailers to enhance your mission of making sustainable beauty the norm?
Yes, well, at first, when we launched, we called it sustainability through stealth. And the reason for that is that retailers weren't interested, consumers weren't interested. That's unfair. There was a small early adopter, but when you come to big, retailers, at that time it was all about natural and organic formulations, which is definitely a pillar in our sustainability model, but it's not everything. So what we did is we ensured that we were working behind the scenes and getting the most sustainable products to market, but we weren't necessarily highlighting through our marketing that sustainability was at the forefront of what we do. Whereas in 2021 and beyond, what has now happened is that Beauty Kitchen and our Return, Refill, Repeat programme, which is about reusable packaging in a safe and circular way for the industry, so not just Beauty Kitchen, we have other companies that use that model. And that helps us to drive that change through retailers and then consumers. Because the challenge we've always had is in a safe and circular environment is scale. How do you do this at a scalable level that is still commercially viable? And what we've done is we've proved that model, but we want to be transparent and share that model with as many other businesses as we can.
And speaking of consumers, are there particular areas where you see an increased appetite for sustainable beauty? Market regions, for instance, or particular product categories?
So I think when it comes to product categories, definitely, I think what's been great from a formulation perspective is this idea that Lush created, I suppose, which was naked products. So it's products that don't have any packaging. Yeah, which is, you know, a big challenge within sustainability is packaging your consumer products. And I think bars in particular have given formulators in the personal care industry, you know, a great outlet to be able to create innovation. So that's been the big one for me. In terms of market reach and other markets, China in particular is huge. The younger Chinese consumer, they want sustainable products. And that's where I know that it's growing in other areas of the world. But when you look at the number of consumers that you have in one market, the Chinese market is huge.
And in terms of the beauty industry overall, how close do you think we are to reaching the tipping point for sustainable products? And what will it take to make sustainable beauty the norm?
That is a great question and a big question. I personally don't think that the tipping point will happen for another 5 years. And the reason for that is, although we're gaining a lot of ground, so, you know, there's some big companies like L'Oreal, as an example, that are using cradle-to-cradle certification and design for their products. And L'Oreal are the largest beauty company in the world. But I think we all as an industry still have a long way to go. What has happened though is that there is a definite change in mindset across all consumer products. And I think personal care, what's interesting about that industry is that it touches every family across the world. It doesn't matter whether you live in the UK or you live in Korea. Everyone buys personal care products. And that's where I think over the next few years, we will see an evolution of not just cradle to cradle as an institute, but sustainability as a whole, which will touch all consumer products. Personal care can be a real driver of that. So here in the UK, we have created a sustainability beauty coalition to be able to drive change, not just within consumer products, but actually within sole trader businesses and hair salons where they can become more sustainable. So I think anyone that's in this area and industry at the moment, it's a really exciting time, because once you're at the tipping point, you know, for me, that's maybe where the innovation starts to, you know, slow down. And so the next 5 years for me is the most interesting part, to see all of those changes, but also, you know, some of the challenges that you have to overcome. Because if it was easy, then everybody would be doing it and we would be at the tipping point. The fact that it's still a challenge is where the innovation, energy and enthusiasm and opportunity lies.
Well, thank you, Jo, for sharing with us today your passion, your insights, your vision, and for being a guest on the 5 in 10 interview series.
No, thanks very much for having me.